It was a very last-minute draw over the weekend in the Westfield W-League for the Melbourne Victory in Canberra. 1-1 against the Canberra United side. And one of the Melbourne players, new to the club this year, but not new to the Westfield W-League, from the States, is Kendall Fletcher. Kendall, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Happy to be here.
Well, we caught up with you last year when you were with the Central Coast Mariners, and unfortunately they fell over and aren't in this year's edition of the W-League. So you were more than happy to come back and join another team then?
Yeah, absolutely. I was eager to come back down and be a part of Central Coast again, but unfortunately things didn't work out with them. An opportunity arose in Melbourne, which was great for me because it's a new experience, a new town, a new team. And I'm actually really, really enjoying the team and the coaching staff and where I'm living down here.
So how did the move to Melbourne come about then?
Once Central Coast folded, I just kind of put feelers out there to a couple other teams, and Vicky showed some interest, and I had a chat with her on the phone, and I realized this is where I wanted to be. I really liked the club and everything they had to offer on and off the field, so I just decided to come down here.
You had some very good friends in the time there at the Mariners, the likes of Kelly Golubiowski, sort of helping you get used to the environment there at Central Coast, who have been a couple of players that have helped you get used to the Melbourne Victory.
Actually, the entire team. I really can't pick out a lot. I'm actually living in the house where Erin Hurd, she's a goalkeeper for Sydney. She's playing for Sydney this year, but I'm living in her room while she's in Sydney. She's done a lot to help me out. But, the entire team has just been great. They've all just welcomed me with open arms. I'm actually having dinner with a couple of them right now, and they're just great, Katie and Urs. So I'm having a good time here.
Absolutely fantastic. Tell us about, I guess, in the off-season, playing in the WPS. How did that work out?
It was good. Actually, I was started in St. Louis, and that club folded. So I ended up in New Jersey, Sky Blue, and really enjoying that club and looking forward to starting our third season next year. It'll be a big year for the WPS, but I'm just really enjoying that league and the level of play there.
You mentioned there the dramas with St. Louis, and there's been some dramas, I suppose, about the league as a whole. What's your confidence level that everything will be up and running next season?
Definitely going to be a season next year. I think like anything, you have to kind of weather the storm. It's not going to be perfect from the beginning. I'm hopeful this next season we can make some changes in how the operations are run and on the teams and figure out a way to make it more profitable for everyone. It's just growing pains, I think, and I think women's soccer is a huge sport worldwide and in the States, and I really hope that the league does well. I hope that people support this league and this league in the States just because I think it's so good for women and just sports in general.
One of your new teammates at the Melbourne Victory W-League side, Jodie Taylor, played college football in the States. Did you come across her at all?
Yeah, Jodie Taylor, she's in the States. Did I come across her in the States?
Yeah.
No, actually we never crossed paths, although she interviewed for my job at UC Irvine after I left to play professionally. It didn't end up working out there, but that's kind of how our paths have crossed. And she played for the Pally Blues the year after I left. So we're connected, but actually have never really met until this year.
What job was that?
It was the assistant coach at UC Irvine in California, college coaching position.
Is that something that you're interested in getting involved in when your playing career finishes?
Absolutely. Obviously, I was doing it while playing, and it just didn't work out to continue during the league. I was in LA and then got traded to St. Louis, so I had to leave my job. But, yeah, coaching is something that is near and dear to my heart. I think it's something that I'll get into for a long time. I'm looking forward to doing that after I'm done, whenever that may be. Hopefully a little while into the future yet.
Yeah, certainly. We're chatting with Kendall Fletcher. She was with the Central Coast Mariners last year in the Westfield W-League, playing for the Melbourne Victory now. How do you compare your two coaches then, Vicky Linton now and Steve Roach last year with the Mariners?
I have the utmost respect for both of them. I think they have a little bit of a different coaching style, as every coach does. I really enjoyed Roachy last year. I thought he did a great job with the team. He did a great job putting all of us together, and we obviously had a really successful run, and a lot of that was due to him. But I can't speak highly enough of Vicky. I think she's a phenomenal coach. I think obviously she's the only women's coach in the league, but I think she's just outstanding. I think she could coach anywhere in the world. I think she's up and coming. She's got the respect of the team, which I think is huge, and has put us together in a system really well, and I just look forward to playing for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Vicky Linton, the only female coach in the Westfield W-League, and does certainly have big raps on her. Tell us about the game against Canberra on the weekend. They got the goal, and you guys scored deep into injury time. Did you get the feeling the goal was going to come?
Yeah, absolutely. We were joking after the game. We've never worked so hard for a goal. We worked 94 minutes for that goal, and it finally came. I think we definitely deserved that goal. It was a hard-fought match. I think both teams played really well. It was unfortunate we gave up a goal early and had to chase the game the entire time. But credit to both teams, and obviously it was outstanding to get that goal at the end. It almost felt like a win when you get that in that last minute like that. But, we're just looking forward to moving forward from there and getting, hopefully a win under our belt. But we're just getting better and better each game, and I think getting that goal late in the game really did something to boost our confidence and kind of launch us into our next match.
You're away to Adelaide on Friday night with the match to be played prior to the A-League fixture, so it should be exciting. A big crowd potentially there?
Absolutely. I really enjoy watching the A-League. I've watched a couple games on TV, and to be, part of doubleheaders and things like that is really exciting. So it should be good. Hopefully there's a great crowd, and it'll be a good game.
It's an interesting weekend for, I suppose, footballers to do with America in Australia because David Beckham will be in Newcastle with the LA Galaxy there. Do you have a team that you follow in the men's MLS?
I did follow the Galaxy when I was out in LA, and I went to a couple Red Bulls games when I was up in New York playing for Sky Blue. I don't have a team that I'm a diehard fan of, but I do enjoy watching the league, and I'm really thrilled that the men's league is doing so well now, and that they're starting to get more and more international players coming over, some big-time players like Henry and Beckham and things like that. So I think it's just exciting. I think it's exciting for the A-League to have a game against the MLS. I think both leagues are pretty comparable and are both trying to, improve their level. So I think it's exciting to see teams like that playing against each other.
We know David Beckham and Landon Donovan pretty well, but who's a player in the LA Galaxy side that we should be looking out for in the match this weekend that we maybe don't know a lot about?
That's a good question. I can't really help you out there. I wish I knew the players better. But yeah, Landon and Beckham will definitely be players to watch. But hopefully some of the younger guys are learning from the older players, and will bring some new flair to the field.
You're familiar with Michelle Heyman, a Central Coast Mariners teammate who you came up against in the game against Canberra on the weekend. Who was the one player from Canberra that impressed you the most?
I think Sel had a good game for them. She was holding midfield. I think Caitlin Cooper did pretty well in the back for them and was solid. I think definitely their goalkeeper, Lydia, had a great game. All of those players kind of contributed, but I think that team is coming together, and they're playing well as a team, and they'll be a team it'll be hard to beat down the road, especially with Michelle, and she can score and strike at any moment. But yeah, they're playing really well together, and they've got some new Central Coast players that are just added to an already good team.
Kendall Fletcher from the Melbourne Victory Westfield W-League side is with us. You've got the national team number one, Melissa Barbieri, captain, but she wasn't available on the weekend. Bree Davies stepped in. Tell us about her.
Bree did awesome. I mean, in any other team, I think Bree would be a starting keeper in this league. She's that kind of caliber player. And she's only 15, and from what I understand, hasn't been playing that long, but she's quality. So we had obviously missing a player like Bubs is difficult, and just from her leadership standpoint and who she means and what she means to this team was difficult. But Bree, we had all confidence in Bree stepping into the game. It was great that she got to get, a start in 90 minutes. I think that'll just end up helping us down the road, whatever happens. But we had all confidence in Bree. I think she played fantastic, really, controlled her box and was a great leader back there and stepped in, which is a hard thing to do, much less being 15 years old. So I think can't say enough about her performance on the weekend.
When we chatted with you regards the Central Coast Mariners, I think the side it brought you in a Kubra for a present at one stage. Is there one touristy thing that your Melbourne Victory teammates have taken you on so far that you recommend?
I think this weekend I might go horseback riding on the beach. I grew up riding horses, and my roommate that I live with, she rides horses, so that could be a good experience. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Australian Open. I think I'm going to head out there and watch that. The tennis, that'll be great. I got to see the U.S. Open when I was in the States. But Jody and I are actually planning our adventures here coming up in the season, so we'll see what we get into. But yeah.
Well, hopefully you have to put that back by a couple of weeks because the Melbourne Victory are playing in finals, but we'll see how that season pans out. Best of luck Friday night against Adelaide. Continued success